Hello everyone, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. Okay, today's video is more of a hard topic. It's about a mysterious fish death, phantom fish death. It does happen in this hobby, and all the research in the world and every opinion, it just happens. And one of the species that I've had particularly bad luck with is the one we're looking at now. The bred koi angelfish, in this case, a super high coverage, nearly red, generally an expensive and desirable fish, and that might be part of the problem. Here's a more typical angelfish. This fish, I'm betting, will be gone in a week, give or take, and I can only tell by its reclusive behavior, its lack of appetite. It tries to eat, it mouths food and then spits it out, but by and large it stays to itself, not in the general fray, not with its other angelfish friends, and it doesn't go bonkers when I feed. It doesn't interact negatively or positively with any other fish. It certainly doesn't spar or play around like those two just did. It just sits there. When I wake up, it's in this corner or that. When I feed the fish, sometimes it moves to the food. And believe me, you can try live foods I have. It doesn't really stimulate any new behavior from the fish. And so this has happened before with koi angelfish, in this tank and other tanks, and I've done some inquiries, and the reason is, best to my knowledge, that these fish were inbred, line bred so much to get that desirable color that it has compromised their immune systems, and maybe a little bit elevated nitrates, who knows. Parameters in this tank are pretty good, and none of the other fish are suffering whatsoever. I mean, it's a really healthy tank, and I mean, that's good news. Bad news, because it makes it nearly impossible to diagnose. And I've heard this called Angelfish Aids. It's an awful name, but kind of a sad reality. The fish gets it, not sure how or why. I mean, it's certainly not like AIDS in that we can figure out where it was transmitted, but there's really no treatment. I mean, people say take it out, do this, do that, but then the end of those videos, the fish is always dead anyway. So there's no fin rot, there's nothing particularly wrong with this fish. From this camera shot on the iPhone, it looks great, but I'm gonna bet the farm that it'll be gone in a week or two, because I've seen all this before. Now I'm gonna move, so bear with me, I don't have to edit, to this other gorgeous tank and this other koi, which is doing exactly the same thing. The fact that it's even out is kind of a miracle. Now with this one, I predict it'll be gone before the other one. See how it kind of looks crummy? If this were a person, you'd say, man, you look like hell. It's just, and then that emaciated gut, I have half a mind to euthanize it. I'm not terribly worried about it contracting anything to these other two angelfish, which are doing outstanding. But this koi, not as intense as the other one, has exhibited the same behavior. Here it sort of wants to be a part of the community, but is failing. And this one I predict will be gone in 48 hours by the time I revisit YouTube with another video. So that's a sad topic, and I think it's cautionary tale for those that seek out super high coverage koi angelfish or any other exotics. They have been inbred to the point where their immune systems become compromised, and it could be me. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I know more than the average Joe, and I have kept fish a long time, and this does not happen with any regularity to any other fish that I've kept, except maybe bettas, which are also culpable when it comes to overbreeding to get specific colors. So there is some intense circumstantial evidence that breeding for color, like with kois and bettas, you will get the so-called phantom death syndrome. The fish will be fine for a while. Maybe if you look hard, it's not quite as fine as you think. And then it starts to stop eating, becomes lethargic, a bit emaciated. Maybe it'll fall prey to a latent disease in the tank. Maybe it'll get ick. Maybe it'll become harassed by algae eaters and things like that, which will take, like, these little guys could jump on him and start feasting off his slime coat. I've seen that happen to weakened fish that can't defend themselves. It's kind of sad. I mean, it's not kind of, it is sad. And it's just one of those things. I mean, this is a beautiful tank with excellent water parameters, tons of live plants, just beautiful. Maybe my best tank in many respects, except for this poor sick soul who I'm sure is gonna perish, just like his older cousin. They're not from the same stock, but you know what I'm saying. And I wanted to share with you a cautionary tale about buying really fancy bred bettas, and in my case koi angelfish. I've had this happen. It's going to happen again with the two fish I just showed you, but I don't think I'm going to purchase koi angelfish ever again. I mean, I don't mind the more hardy common varieties like this clown veal and this platinum white, typical scalare. They just don't have the same problems I've seen with koi angelfish. So I'm not sure what the advice is beyond buyer beware when it comes to those fancy fish. And otherwise, always keep your hands in the tank. Ciao for now.